If there's someone you want to call Bobo right now, who is it?
Ito si Lenny Robredo.
Oh.
Oo. Talagang bobo yan eh. You can see that she is a total robot.
Sir, may right med citizen ka mo? Isa ka stab nga bayo, Jessie? Immune Pro.
Grace Pharmacy, madasig, kompleto, barato, kaglimpyo.
RD Ong's line of products, making your vehicle tough for roads less traveled.
Stocking water is a must. Tanke is here. Locally produced. International quality. Tanke.
Dow imported.
Attorney Larry Gadon is here with us today, and easily is one of the most famous lawyers in the Philippines. Sir, can we talk about this first? Yung Bobo incident, ano?
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way. First of all, by hindsight, ano yung na-realize mo because of that incident? Did you regret doing that?
No. It made me very famous, that Bobo incident. Actually, that Bobo incident was just, it started in Baguio during the hearing of co-warrant to proceedings against Attorney Lourdes Sereno. And then I called those people, the rally is Bobo. And what made it really famous was when I attended an event in Dasmariñas, Cavite. There was an event in Lasal, Dasmariñas, and the host was, the host was then Congressman Elpidio Barzaga, who was my professor in law school. And then when I was walking from the parking lot to the building, a group of students took photos with me. And then they requested that a video be made. So sabi ko, ang mga taga-Lasal ay hindi bobo. And then, on that day itself, it made a hit of around 1.5 million. And it reached more than 5 million. So naging famous yun.
Yung offshoot of that incident was yung case filed against you and the reported disbarment ng Supreme Court sa'yo.
Well,
which I find strange because it was published.
Yes.
I know a lot of lawyers dito na disbarred, but there's no mention about it publicly. Why so? What do you think?
Because it was a politically motivated move of some of the justices in the Supreme Court who hate me. Because I always criticize them, particularly Justice Benjamin Caguiwa and Leonen Marvic Leonen. And a day before that, I even mentioned in media, I issued a statement in media that they should refund the 200 million pesos deposit of Bongbong Marcos on his petition for yung petition niya for against Lenny. So siguro nagalit sila sa akin doon. The following day, nag-announce na sila ng suspension. It was really strange because suspension proceedings are supposed to be confidential in nature, and they are not published to avoid the embarrassments on parties who will later be declared innocent, no? So hindi talaga dapat in-announce yun. But because it was a politically motivated act of some of the justices of the Supreme Court, yun ang nangyari.
And walang proceedings na...
Walang proceedings, walang due process. I was not even notified. And the worst part is that there was no complaint at all.
No complaint
No
at all.
complaint at all. They just assumed that I came up and uploaded a video against a particular reporter.
Oh. So
There was
parang,
no complaint.
So parang motu proprio they
Motu proprio.
initiated?
Yes.
Oh my.
And that is very confusing because look at as an example, look at Chel Jokno. He lied. He violated the processes of the Supreme Court when he filed the petition for kalikasan, writ of kalikasan, in behalf of the fishermen in Zambales. And then those fishermen denied that they asked Jokno to file a petition on their behalf. So Jokno even submitted, together with the petition, a verification form that he was authorized by the fishermen to file that petition. That is a big violation.
Sir, you mentioned about hate.
Oo.
Hate against you, and now you are running as senator under Bongbong Marcos.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, why is there so much hate for the guy from some people, and why are some people afraid of him? What do you think?
Well, Lourdes Sereno was their best friend in the Supreme Court. They get a lot of favors from Lourdes Sereno when she was the Chief Justice. Best friend nila yon. Schoolmate. Pare-pareho silang nagtuturo ng law sa UP. Oh, magkakaibigan yung mga yun. So, when Lourdes Sereno was kicked out due to my impeachment complaint, syempre galit sila sa akin.
You're referring to the Vice President?
Hindi, you so much hate by some people in the Supreme Court. Yun nga, kasi nga, kaibigan nila si Lourdes Sereno.
Oh. Okay.
And even Solicitor General Jose Calida says that they discovered the grounds for quo warranto against Sereno through the impeachment case that I have filed in the Congress.
Yung EDSA happened in 1986, and
Yes.
it's been so many years since then. Pero we're still stuck in the narrative of Marcos bad, Aquino's good. Until when should we continue hanging on to this mindset?
Well, actually, if you will notice, this kind of mindset has already turned around. If you'll notice, anywhere Bongbong Marcos goes, people would mob him. People would really, you can see the support to Bongbong Marcos, and that is abandoning the narrative of the yellows.
So you think may counter-narrative na ngayon because of this phenomena?
And I can claim that I have done a lot for that overturning the narrative. Because I ran in 2016 for the purpose of appearing in national media just to denounce the Aquinos and just to denounce that 1986 the fake revolution, people power revolution.
How should we view Bongbong Marcos sa tingin mo?
Sa tingin ko, Bongbong Marcos is the only qualified candidate in terms of qualifications, intelligence, experience, and the sincere desire to serve the people.
Sincere desire.
Yes.
How do you judge that, sir?
Well, I can see in Ilocos, when you go to Ilocos, you can hear the stories of the people there, their statements na talagang napakagaling ni Bongbong Marcos.
Tell us, what's his grand vision that convinced you to run under him?
The upliftment of the lives of the people. and the improvement of our economy, the upliftment of our economy. Maganda yung example na ginawa niya doon sa Ilocos. Do you know that the windmills in Ilocos Norte is the biggest producer of windmill power in Southeast Asia? Imagine if you can replicate that in other parts of the country. We can bring down the cost of electricity, and that's what we need. Being the highest power rates in Asia, the Philippines really need that kind of technology. Because we are not yet prepared also for yung solar energy. Hindi pa rin approve yung talagang yun yung makakapag-solve ng natin.
I'll go to some issues about policy. Of course, you're running as senator and you will soon become a policymaker if you win. I'll start with sugar. Yung post-liberalization scenario has not been good for the sugar industry. And of course, it's now facing problems because of higher fertilizer prices and yung importation of sugar. What do you think? What should we do with the sugar industry?
Well, the problems besetting the sugar industry now is also the same, are also the same with the rice industry.
Or agriculture, for example.
You mentioned about the fertilizer, the rising cost of fertilizer. I think we have to adopt the programs of President Marcos during his time, when fertilizers are given to the farmers.
Given?
Yes, subsidized. There was a time that the fertilizers were subsidized so that the farmers can increase the harvest of their crops.
In fact, yung irrigation project dito, yung Bago River irrigation system was built under Marcos.
Oo.
Wala nang sumunod.
Yun pa nga eh.
That's the only project.
Well, actually, even in Metro Manila, the water supply in Metro Manila is already on a very critical level. At the time that Marcos left in 1986, the water reservoir system for Metro Manila was good only for 6 million population. Now, the Metro Manila has 25 million population, and we still have the same source of water. So, ganyan din ang nangyayari dito.
So,
actually, may mga projects na doon si President Marcos that were shelved off by Cory Aquino. It could have solved the water crisis and also the flooding.
yung agriculture, surprisingly, was the most resilient sector in the Philippine economy, even during the pandemic. What do you think should be measures that would strengthen government support to agriculture?
Well, probably copy or apply also the programs of President Marcos. Put up cooperatives so that the farmers can be assisted in farming and assisted in fertilizers and also in the post-harvest system. Do you know that if our post-harvest system is improved or modernized, we still have a surplus of 3%.
3%
of rice. We should not be importing.
Well,
Ang nangyayari kasi dyan, yung ating mga farmers, pag binenta nila yung palay doon sa mga palay traders, the palay traders are just put, the palay traders do not have that capacity to dry the rice, the palay, no? The palay, and get it to the ano ba tawag doon, yung mga mills, yung rice mills. Very low yung capacity ng mga rice mills natin ngayon. Most of them are already siguro mga half capacity na lang of the previous capacity of their technology. So, nangyayari, pati yung pag-dry ng palay, ano yan pinapatuyo nila sa mga kalye, sa mga basketball court. So mabagal yung drying process, mabagal din yung milling process, so mabagal din yung pagdala ng rice sa market. So therefore, nagkakaroon ng artificial shortage. But if we are going to modernize our post-harvest system, according to the Rice Millers Association of the Philippines, we still have a surplus of about 3%.
Oh.
And all they need is a government assistance of 10 billion pesos, 10 to 12 billion pesos, which they can pay in a matter of 2 to 3 years. And we can be rice sufficient again.
As of the moment, net importer tayo eh.
Yes, so. And this rice shortage is being used by the rice traders and smugglers to earn a lot of money.
Sir,
But if we modernize our post-harvest system, we can be rice sufficient again. Just like the time of President Marcos.
ngayon, Vietnam.
Imaginein mo naman yung mga rice mills yan, 30 years old na. Ang capacity, ilan na lang.
That's true. Even yung sugar mills are also
Yes,
antiquated.
actually, yun din ang isa sa siguro. We have to modernize the sugar mill so that we can produce more sugar.
So it's a question of increasing productivity talaga.
Yes, increasing productivity. Actually, that is also the cause of inflation among those items.
Scary creatures in your house? Call ISK Tech Pest Management Services. They know what to do.
Nature's Perfect Lunchbox. For perfect eggs, fresh and clean, guaranteed all the time. For orders, text or call 0907-838-7958.
Do your share. Don't throw garbage anywhere. A reminder from LR Cares.
You've tasted empanaditas and buns, but have you ever tasted papas con chorizo, curried chicken, pulled pork, double cheese, and tuna basil? Only Jinkies Kitchen offers these flavors. Catch a bite now of Jinkies Kitchen, empanaditas, and buns at Kmart, Monsterific at Singkang and Talisay City, San Carlos, Silay City, Lopez East Center, and Lopez San Sebastian. Jinkies Kitchen, empanaditas, and buns, a pocket full of goodness. Cecilia's Negrense Delicacies. Freshly baked happiness with every bite.
Related to that po, yung land reform, what do you think? Should we improve the land distribution system or should we stop it?
Well, my concept really of farming is corporate, just like what they are doing in the US and some modernized countries. Dito kasi sa ating kanya-kanya And of course, pag kanya-kanya, kung minsan hindi maganda yung yung management and operation. So I think we should promote corporate farming so that we can increase the productivity of our agricultural products.
Yung isang
Kasi we can apply modern management system, modern technology. If we treat it as a corporate business.
Should it be state-run or not?
Well, it can be state-run or it can be, we can invite investors, foreign investors. In fact, a lot of foreigners are already having ocular inspections in some of large tracts of lands in northern Luzon, so that they can use it for corporate farming.
Naalala ko kasi yung isang Negrense, si Attorney J.V. Hinlo, who used to be land bank, ngayon is now at the PACC, ano? Yung proposal niya is a state-run corporate farming model, eh. I don't know if it will work.
Well, I think it should be left to the private sector.
Private sector.
Yes, because the private sector, if you will notice, they are more aggressive, and they can invite talented people. Unlike in the government, we might experience problems again of mga political appointees, mga ganyan, who are not really qualified to run the agencies.
Sir, how
For
would
example,
sorry.
DOH, because you are forcing a doctor to become a head of the agency, yun ang nangyayari. It doesn't mean that if you are running a Department of Health government agency, you have to be a doctor. Dapat dyan yung magagaling ng mga corporate people.
So,
the likes of the executives in San Miguel Corporation, mga ganyan, dapat ang ilagay dyan.
well, as they say, government has no business doing business, eh.
Yes, actually.
Sir,
except, of course,
Yes, sir.
for public utilities like power sector, water, and what do you call this? The national telecoms. Pwede rin napasukan din ng gobyerno yan, eh. Because in
telecom
Japan,
is very important.
yes, in Japan, telecoms is operated by the government. And they are just leasing out the frequencies to private sectors, private businesses.
Is that one of your priorities sa legislative agenda mo?
Well, it is included in my legislative agenda.
Tell us, sir.
I will propose. But the recent developments have been very encouraging. Like the frequencies previously owned by ABS-CBN were distributed to at least 3 media organizations. Channels 2 and 16 were given to the company of Manny Villar, and Channel 23 was given to Aliw Broadcasting Corporation, owned by Edgar Cabangon, and Channel 43 was awarded to SMNI of Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. So the monopoly on those channels or frequencies was broken.
Indeed. Well, may mga standard questions ngayon, ano? But I don't want to ask this supposedly, but I'll ask it anyway.
Sige,
yung
okay lang.
stand mo sa Soggy Bill, for example. Of course, yung young ones are very excited about this. No? What do you think about that?
Well, I believe that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
Male and female.
So yung mga kailangan mag-CR yung mga third sex doon sa kabilang I don't believe in that.
Which is quite complicated ngayon, ano? Parang Facebook status, Facebook, di ba? Complicated. Kasi it's a battle for nouns and pronouns, eh. I want you to call me she, I want you to call me he. Parang medyo we're veering off tangent, ano? From things that seek to unite us supposedly. Okay.
Well, actually I respect LGBT, no? Marami akong kaibigan na mga LGBT. But I believe that when it comes to like sharing a toilet, I believe that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
Sir, I'll veer to something personal muna, no? How did you survive the bashing? I mean, it's quite difficult. I've been through that, pero not as bad as you did. How did you survive the bashing?
I don't mind it because more than 90% are positive and only less than 3% are
Sa bagay nga, no?
negative. O, yung mga buzzers na gano'n, anyway, mga bobo naman yun. Why would I mind it? Who are they anyway?
If there's someone you want to call Bobo right now, who is it?
Ito si Lenny Robredo.
Oh.
Oo. Talagang bobo yan eh. You can see that she is a total robot. Kung ano lang dinidikta sa kanya ng partido niya, yun yung ginagawa. You're a presidential candidate and you would do something like this.
Hadouken.
Oo. Or yung mga ganon-ganon. That is not a presidential timber material. People like that.
Is that indicative of strength or the lack of strength?
Lack of strength and of course lack of her own mind.
Oo nga, no?
Ako siguro kahit anong dikta gawin sa akin ng mga marketing managers ko, if it will result to me looking stupid, I will not do that.
Okay, sir.
So if you can just imagine pagdating sa policy making, di gano'n din mangyayari sa kanya. Everything will be dictated on.
Okay, how would you describe yourself as a public servant? If you win, ano? How would you describe your capabilities, etc., etc.?
Matalino.
Matalino. One word.
Yeah.
So
Magaling.
parang antithesis ng Bobo, ano?
Yes.
Matalino. Okay, what else, sir?
Matalino. Very creative. Magaling ako mag-isip ng mga solutions
Solutions.
sa mga problema natin.
Solutions, very important, ano?
Yes. Oh.
Kasi yung attitude ngayon, I don't know if it's a generational thing. You come up with one solution, ang daming tao, 100 problems, oh. They can spot problems in a solution.
Oo.
So what you're saying now is we should find solutions to problems. Why do you think this attitude na we are so pessimistic, palaging negative?
Yung kasing culture na ibinaba sa atin ng mga Aquino ginawa tayong negative lahat Yung ating culture of negativity, this is the legacy of Ninoy Aquino. Yun na yung nangyari dyan. Do you notice that after 1986, fake people power revolution, nag-iba talaga ang discipline ng tao. Nag-iba yung kanilang pananaw. Naging undisciplined maraming
Undisciplined.
Oo.
Buti nga yung proposal ng vice presidential candidate nyo is to bring back the ROTC. Mandatory.
Yes. And I wonder why they call it military service. It's just a training.
Oo nga.
Diba?
It's just a training. It's not like
tinatakot
Israel.
nila yung mga bata. Sinasabi ng military service. It's not military service. And besides, in ROTC, you're not being taught just to fire a gun. You are being taught of nationalism, patriotism, discipline, and knowledge of the country, di ba? Doon mo matutunan.
Yun nga.
Governance, matututunan mo rin doon.
But discipline most of all.
It's not actually just a military exercise.
Oo nga, no?
Oo. Alam mo ba kung bakit nila inalis nila Cory yan?
Bakit po?
Kasi marami sa cabinet ni Cory at that time, mga komunista. So they want to weaken our national defense. And therefore, they remove ROTC so that the future generations would become militarily weak so that the NPAs can easily defeat
But the
them.
NPAs recruit young people.
Kaya nga
Even children
Oo. Baliktad nga Baliktad yung nangyayari. So these people are not complaining that very young kids like 12 years old are being trained to become NPA. Pero yung mga ROTC natin na mga high school na mag-i-start lang na turuan ng patriotism, nationalism, and then discipline, and how to protect the country, national defense, ganyan, bawal na. Saan ba nakakita ng mga baliko? Alam mo yung mga komunista, yung Communist Party of the Philippines, napakahusay niyan magbaliktad. Napakahusay magbaliktad ng mga yan. They are very good at creating and implementing propaganda.
If you are to use one word to describe them, ano po? Ano po ba? Yung
Yung
word
mga
niyo?
salot yung mga yan.
Salot.
Oo.
Akala ko bobo.
Oo, bobo din. Alam mo sa totoo, itong hindi kasi ito nadidiscuss eh.
Yes, sir.
It's not about ideology. It's a business. Do you know that the leaders of this Communist Party of the Philippines, mayaman pa sa'yo yan. Nakatira sa mga exclusive villages yan. Kasi yung collection ng mga NPA, yung collection, yung blood money nila, blood taxes nila, they go to these people who are living abroad, living in exclusive villages, sending their children in exclusive schools abroad. Mga ano yan, ang gaganda ng mga kotse niyan. I know some of them. Oo.
Yes.
Puro mga ano yan. Business. The communist insurgency is business. Kaya hindi nila maitigil eh.
I can only hope na you'll have more time. We can have a longer interview time in the future, ano?
Oo.
But considering you're very busy right now dito sa Bacolod, I'll ask you one question na lang.
Okay.
Why should people vote for you?
Well, I have a sincere desire to serve the country. Yun lang. Kasi a lot of people are complaining against the government, against government officials. Sinasabi nila, hindi magaling yan sa kurap yan. Walang nagagawa yan si ganito, walang nagagawa ng ganyan. But wala naman tayong ginagawa. So if you feel that you are qualified, if you feel that you can do something for your country, I am guided by the principle of Plato that if you ano nga ba yung ano niya? The penalty for not participating in politics is that you will be governed by your inferiors. Kaya yun. Reklamo tayo, di naman tayo nagpa-participate.
Oh, sa bagay, ano?
So we should remove these incompetent people by joining politics and offer yourself to the service of the country.
Attorney Larry Gadon, it was a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And mabuhay ang mga taga-Bacolod. I hope we can get your support for BBM-Sara Uniteam and all the senatorial candidates of the Uniteam.